Dear viewers, those of you who reside in Dubai or contemplating to buy real estate in Dubai, there is a dilemma in the mind. Should we consider buying real estate in Dubai or should we consider buying real estate in India? In this episode, in a conversation with Zohaib Hamirani, the leading real estate broker of Dubai, we are trying to find an answer for this dilemma. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant, but your financial guide for a happy living.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Dear viewers, Zohaib Hamirani is not new to you. He is the prominent real estate broker operating in Dubai. He is popularly known as Realtor on Harlem. I got into a conversation with him recently and we discussed this topic of should you buy your real estate in Dubai or should you buy it in India? The conversation is here for you.
Chandrakant Bhai, I regularly receive a lot of questions from people who are residing here in Dubai. Obviously, they are not locals and they are mainly from India. And they have this one question that pops up all the time. And I'm sure you get the same question as well. Should they buy real estate here in Dubai or should they park their money back home in their hometown? And this is something I have to deal with or I have to answer to many, many times. You as a financial planner, what is it that you advise or what is it that you put out?
I'm very sure, Zohaib, that because of this dilemma, you are not able to complete a lot of deals that you are supposed to complete. So this is not something which is new. This happens on a day-to-day basis. People are not clear in their thinking. That's exactly what happens. We handle it at NRI Money Clinic on a day-to-day basis, this particular situation. The question is, how do we solve it? I don't think it requires a lot of thinking around that. If people just get into a rational thinking mode and starts ticking boxes, they'll be able to find a correct answer on that. Let's not get into the merits and demerits of buying into Dubai real estate or Indian real estate at this point of time. We'll discuss more during our conversation. But let's look at from the life of a person, an expatriate Indian who is living in Dubai. Let's look at this thing. You come, stay here, and you are in a rented premises. You are paying a colossal amount of money as rent. Let's say that you are a 30-year-old person and you are just opening up to that career now. And in years ahead, your salaries will rise, you will grow up in your career, all these things happens. When you come to Dubai, what happens back home in India? Your parents are full of advice for you. Dubai to gaya. Pehla kya karna hai? Pehla ghar le lo bhaiya. You invest in the thing. This is a cardinal mistake the parents make. If the person who is working here buys real estate in India, that will be a big mistake. In my NRI Money Clinic, I have done lots of videos on when should people buy, when they should buy, when they should not buy. We have done a lot of videos. Parents give good advice. This is one area where parents give the wrong advice. If you are a 30-year-old person and you buy real estate in India, particularly the residential real estate, think what happens. Number one, you're not going to live there. If you're buying
Correct.
with an intention that let my parents go and live there, that's need-based buying.
Correct.
No problem on that. You can buy that if it is need-based. But if you say, when I retire, I will come and live there, that's a hopeless decision to get into.
Very true.
Right? By which time it is 30-year-old building and you don't want to go and live there. You want to go and live in a contemporary building. So don't do that. Does it make any commercial sense for you? See, the rental real estate in India commands a rental yield of 2% to 3% maximum.
Correct.
Housing loans today are coming at 9.5%. They had bottomed out at about 6.5% in India. So what logic is there when you end up paying the interest at 9.5% and collect a rent of 2%? It doesn't make any economic sense for you at all. So refrain from doing that. Let's contrast this situation from in Dubai, what happens. Recently, I did one fact find session with one of our prospective clients who was working in Emirates Airlines. So he had a very good salary. He was paying about 8,000 dirhams rent every month in Dubai. And he was trying to buy real estate in India. And he is telling that I'll buy real estate. I told him on the contrary, you think about it. instead of buying real estate in India, why can't you make that expense which is going out 8,000 dirham rent here and convert that into your own equity? If he buys a Dubai real estate, instead of paying 8,000 dirhams rent, he will pay 8,000 or lesser as EMI to the bank.
Correct.
Right? If you pay rent, it's completely washed out. It's an expense on your balance sheet. But if you are paying an EMI for the loan, every time you pay an EMI, your life's equity keeps rising.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that you are going to work here for next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. 8,000 dirhams rent per month into 12 months, 96,000. Let's round it off to 100,000.
Correct.
And in 30 years, you end up paying 3.6 million dirhams as the rent and you get zero out of it.
100%.
Right?
100%.
But you buy a property here, if you leave, you sell, assume it has the same value, you still get that equity.
Correct.
Assume the property rates collapse by 50%, you still have 50% equity.
Equity, yeah.
So there is nothing that you can lose by buying into Dubai real estate if you are a person who is living in Dubai. What are the things you have to keep in mind? Just evaluate your life. Am I a young person who is taking decision? Am I a person who is at 55 years and going to retire in next 3 years and going back to India? This argument will not work for you in that case.
Correct.
So you have to evaluate individual circumstances. Why do I do this? How many years I'm going to live in Dubai? What happens if I leave Dubai tomorrow and move to some other country? You should find logical answers to this. For example, I will rent it out. For example, if I lose my job, how will I service my EMI? For example, if I go back to India, what taxes I have to pay it in India? So you need to sit with your financial planner. The planners are the best persons who can look at from an individual circumstances. So there are no easy answers here.
Right.
So individual circumstances will dictate whether it is right or wrong. Now let's also, for a purpose, let us look at from a financial planner's perspective. How do I see two real estates in Dubai versus in India? First of all, let's look at the rental yields, right? In India, you have a residential real estate which gives you 2% rental yield.
Correct.
Here, it could be 4%, 5%, 6%, 10%, depending on the cyclicity, the area, your purchase price, when you purchase this property, what stage you are in. One thing what I have observed is the rental yield what you get is sufficient enough to pay the EMIs from the bank.
Very easily.
Right? So this has a lot of good points. Good point is that tomorrow you move out of the country and you have not cleared the loan. You can still rent out the property and the rent itself can take care of the EMIs.
Correct.
Likewise, you lost job and you decide to go back to your mother country. You don't have to worry about selling the product. You can rent out, tell the bankers that the rents will take care of the mortgage, and you can still do that. But can you do the same thing if you have a rental real estate in India? If you lose the job, can you pay that? You can't. You get 9% housing loans in India and your yields are 2%.
I know.
You should make a logical arguments around that. So if I compare both these, I will weigh Dubai real estate to be a far higher, better option for somebody who wants to buy here. There are other qualitative things also here. For example, Dubai has lots of tourists. It's a small country, very concentrated, fashion capital of the world. So you can say the tourism, everybody wants to come to Dubai, not once in lifetime. People want to come to Dubai frequently here, come spend here. People want to come and work from here. So there is a demand is there. It's a very organized real estate market here. India is a very vast country that way. It is developing. It's not that it hasn't developed like the way the Dubai has, but it's a developing market. So you should look at whether that area is well developed or not. Can you find a tenant or not? These things have to be looked into. Likewise, in India, if you own a real estate, you don't have an asset management company which can take care of your properties.
Correct.
So here you have real estate companies which can look after your properties, find a tenant for you, remit money into your account. Of course, the costs will be involved in that.
100%.
But nevertheless, the structure is available to you. And many people come and live in Dubai and their children are born here Children are naturalized to an extent that they think Dubai is their homes. The parents will go back, but children may want to stay back. So the house that you purchase here, your children may come and stay there. That's a perfect possibility. So if somebody is working in Dubai, whether he is an youngster or whether he is somebody in the middle of the career, there is a great opportunity or there is a great necessity or there are several plus points for them to buy into Dubai real estate. This is my honest opinion as a financial planner. And I have advised like that to many of my clients. Look, the biggest money that you can make in your career is saving on the rentals.
Correct.
Right? Otherwise, it's a completely washout. In case of India, I always tell, it's the fools who build the properties and the wise come and live in here. But in case of Dubai, I have no hesitation to say, it's the wise who build, it's the wise who go and stay there, and it's the wise who rent them out. This could be a great cash flow opportunities for people who buy in Dubai real estate.
Correct. Just one or two more points I want to highlight on the same topic that you mentioned. And one thing is that in India, I think we're restricted only for Indian nationals
Yes.
to be able to purchase properties. Whereas here in Dubai, you have no restrictions whatsoever. Any nationality from across the globe can purchase a property here, which just makes it so much more easier for you to want to sell it or rent it out or generate cash flow, because there is no restrictions. Everybody can buy, so you have more eyes looking at your property. Also, currency fluctuation, which is something that we do not have here in Dubai. Right? Our dirham is pegged to the dollar, whereas, sad to say, but the Indian currency is already always depreciating in value.
These are definitely the great points to which are working in favor of Dubai real estate. I always tell people, our clients, if you are staying here in Dubai, the first thing that you should look at is what your parents have said. Ek ghar le lo. Lekin India mein nahi, Dubai mein.
Dubai mein, yeah. Chandrakant bhai, can you give us an example of maybe a conversation or two you must have had with one of your Indian clients who's probably residing here in Dubai, but unable to make a decision whether he should purchase here or should purchase there?
Lots of such conversations will keep happening. There are extreme situations where people say, I want to invest only in India. There are extreme cases where say, I want to invest only in Dubai. A pragmatic approach somebody has to take. That's what we do during our conversation. Let's say that you are my client. So we ask you the questions, what's happening in your life? What's your age? Where do you want to go and stay during your retirement period? How many more years you are going to stay in Dubai? Is your job safe? What is the inclination of your wife? Does she wants to stay here? She wants to move to some other part of the world. So based on that, we keep advising people what needs to be done. What I say for sure, or the conviction that I have, is that buying into Dubai real estate appears much, much safer today for a person who wants to stay here in Dubai for a longer period of time. Even if somebody wants to stay here for 5-10 years, even if you move out of the country, you have an options to rent out, and it looks quite safe. And one other advantage, probably, I think during one of my earlier conversations with you, we picked up this point. Dubai banks can give loans to people from outside of Dubai also to buy in Dubai real estate.
Correct.
That's not possible in India.
Correct.
That's not possible in India. So even an Indian who wants to, let's say, buy property in Dubai, I'm given to understand, I think you know this field better than me. The Dubai banks can give them the loan, or even the developers also have the payment plans. Am I right?
Correct. So there's two ways to look at it. A lot of developers offer a facility which makes it easier even for Indians to remit money into Dubai, and they work their payment plans in such a manner that the limit that the Indian nationals have of the $250,000 per annum is what they structure their payment plans to work in favor of. So every year, if an Indian is allowed to transfer $250,000, the payment plan is structured in such a manner that that is the only amount that will be coming in. So that's one facility from the developers. From the bank side, you obviously have, even if you are a non-resident of Dubai, even if you are living in India, you can get a mortgage of up to 50% of the property value, even being a non-resident. So these are the facilities the banks offer. And of course, if you are a resident, you can go up to 80%. The Indian government has recently implemented the 20% tax collection at source. This is making people feel, or the Indian investors feel, that this is an additional cost, or the property in Dubai is now becoming more expensive because of this particular reason. What do you have to say about that?
Zohaib, see, it has made a sensational news, and a lot of YouTubers and TikTok, and they have made lots of videos, but these are not the correct assessment of the situation. This 20% TCS will not impact anyone in any specific way. Let's say that you are an Indian and you are working in India. Every quarter you have to pay the advance tax, right? You have to pay advance tax. If you have earned money, you have to pay advance tax. The TCS is nothing but an advance tax. So when the TCS is made, it is the liable taxes that you have to pay. It is not a tax on remittance. It is not the final taxation. It's a preventive taxation. It means it's an advance tax. Yeah, you are getting into this, so you are paying that extra money into the government, and that will be adjusted at the end of year for the taxes that you have to pay. If you are not liable to pay the taxes, you will get back. So the sensationalization of this is not required, nor it will materially impact in any way the acquisition cost. It can affect only one category of persons. That is, if somebody does not have to pay any income in India, and you are paying TCS, that means it can add to your liquidity. That means if I have to buy 100,000 USD worth of a property and I have to shell down 120,000, because the 20,000 goes to government for next 1 year. Government will also give you interest on that TCS in case if it has to refund it. That's as simple as that. So that additional 20% could be the liquidity issue, but it is not an additional expense which will go on your acquisition of property, which is not correct. And one thing we have to keep here in mind is the entire NRI community thought that this 20% TCS is on NRIs. No. TCS and NRIs have nothing to do with each other. This TCS issue is only for a resident Indian who lives in India who wants to remit this money under the liberalized remittance scheme, LRS scheme. Only for them it applies. But for an NRI, he is moving money in and out of India from his NRE account or his NRO account. This TCS does not apply. You should also promote this, the actual position of law on your social media handles also. A lot of videos have gone viral giving wrong impression of this particular issue. No, it is status quo, more or less similar. Any government across the world could do this. There are withholding taxes in different parts of the world. TCS concept is very well there in India even before that. If some NRI has to remit money outside of India from his NRO account, he is liable to pay taxes in India for the marginal rate of taxes, whatever he has to pay. A chartered accountant has to certify. Since it is already certified by a chartered accountant, he has paid the taxes. That's why there is no TCS. So if you have to remit money from your NRE account, you don't need anyone's permission. So it is status quo same for all NRIs, only for a resident individual. Remitting money from LRS, this applies.
Interesting to know.
Yeah. So if anybody has that particular issue, you can always redirect them to us and we'll explain them what needs to be done. In fact, on my NRI Money Clinic channel, we have done one exclusive dedicated video on this, and I have brought an expert, my chartered accountant, Sriram Rao, to explain the position over there.
Amazing. Thank you. That was very insightful.
Dear viewers, hope the episode that we have done today, the conversation with Zohaib Hamirani, gave you an insight about the real estate of Dubai and India. If it did give you a direction to choose between these two real estate markets, please give me a thumbs up. If you are a person who is watching this channel for the first time or yet to subscribe for the channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Don't forget to share these videos with the near and dear ones. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I shall be back with you next Tuesday with yet another topic, with yet another expert. Till then, stay safe. Jai Hind.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.